Hello, 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 and welcome to Futon Talks.
Whoa.
I'm your host, Christopher Midling, joined by my best friend, Joshua Castro. Joshua, say hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking, man.
Of course.
I'm
Are
glad.
you ready to talk about more Resident Evil 4?
I think we should just start a podcast fully dedicated to only Resident Evil 4 at this point.
I agree. How many times have you finished Resident Evil 4 since the last time we spoke about it?
Only once.
Only once?
But this is the thing. I was going to finish
shame.
it twice, and then you discouraged me. So that's your fault.
You're right. I kind of did.
I was going to. And then my wife got angry at me.
I'm sorry.
Both you and my wife combined against me.
I didn't get mad because obviously, I've finished this game now 51 times.
You're ridiculous. But
So
it didn't
I
seem
feel
like the
pretty
best
good.
use. But yeah,
I might play it again right after we're done talking.
me too, man. I was thinking the same thing. I can't bring myself to delete it. That's the thing. Like, I can't bring myself to take it off of my console.
I never will.
It's just so freaking good. I love this game.
And it's not taking up enough space on my PS5 to warrant a delete.
Exactly. It's only like 8 gigs.
Yes. But welcome everybody to the next episode. As most of you or all of you may know, maybe none of you, we already talked about Resident Evil 4. And it was a very lengthy, but very, I don't know, profitable
Yes, very
discussion.
productive.
Very productive. Very serene. It put me at peace. I slept well that night.
I'll say this much. Talking about this game again and playing this game, it's like coming home. It's like coming home after a long trip,
Big snowstorm, you come into your little cabin and you get cozy up with your blankets and your hot cocoa and you just sit by the fire. That's what this game is.
Yes. And it shouldn't be, but it is. It's like that's not at all what this game should feel like, but it just is. I don't know what it is about it, man. It's so
It's
good.
perfect.
And we're going to be talking about specifically remaking the game. What we'd
That's
like to
right.
see, what we'd like
That's
to
what
change.
we're talking about.
Yeah, but that's hard, right? Because for me, when I first thought about this, I just stared at the page for a while because the game's almost perfect. What am I going to change? You know what I mean? But eventually I figured some stuff out, but
Changes had to be made.
they do.
They must be made to be more contemporary.
Yes.
But yes, like Josh said, we are talking about remaking Resident Evil 4. What I like to call, hopefully we call this episode, redefining horror. Again.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That'll be the subtitle. Redefining horror. Again. That'll be the third subtitle.
So, as of now, we're waiting for Resident Evil 8 Village.
Yes.
And then hopefully after that, we will get to see 4 Remake.
A lot of people thought Village was for remake.
I think I said it in the last episode. I feel like they're specifically making Village to asset swap to make 4 faster.
Maybe they are, man. I don't know. I will say it looks very different, though.
Yeah, but they did it with Resident Evil 7 into 2 and 3.
Did they
They
really?
used the same assets, yeah.
I did not know.
Tons of same key items. You see wardrobes, just little things. There are things in 2 Remake that don't look like they belong at all because they were in 7,
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
right? But we're not talking about Resident Evil 2,
Good.
Village, or Biohazard. We're talking about 4 Remake.
The one that matters.
So let's get down to business. To the dirty, dirty business.
That's right.
How we can just start with the very beginning of the game. Or we can just talk about a general idea. How is this remake gonna look? How do we feel like design changes, or do you see anything looking different or just better?
Man, this is the thing. There's some
Because
things.
Leon looks very different in Remake 2 than he does in 4. He looks like a boy in 2.
Well, that is 8 years ago.
That's right.
I'll say this much. There are some things I'd like changed. But there's a lot of things I do not want them to touch almost at all. Like, for example, the dialogue. I don't want the dialogue to change a syllable. I want it to be almost exactly the same. And when it comes to visuals, unless it's like adding a new enemy type or a new mini boss or a new boss in general, or redesigning something, I really think that it should be the same. Just pretty.
Just in the new engine?
Yeah, like, I want there to be the same amount of houses in the village. I want there to be, like, I want the castle layout to be the same. I want the church to be where it was. I want everything to be the same. Just beautiful. So I don't know. I want to be faithful to those two things specifically. I don't want them changing the dialogue, and I don't want them changing the visuals. Just because they're so iconic.
Yeah.
I don't want them changing that. I don't know. That's how I feel, though.
I agree with you. There are a few things that we're going to get into that I'm going to be changing. And I think for the better, and I hope you agree with me. If not, you can fire me from the podcast.
I probably will.
But I have one specific thing in an overall general change that pertains to what we're talking about right now at the beginning of the game.
The suspense is
Ink
killing
ribbons return.
Oh, so you can only save a certain amount of times.
So, yeah, because I have had playthroughs where I have saved every time the game allows me to. And it turns out to be like 68 saves.
Yeah.
That's
I
too
saved
many.
a lot.
That's too easy. I feel like you should have ink ribbons. You should be strategic with them. They were great in Resident Evil 7. Just keep it going, Obviously, ink ribbons are from the very first game, but they were gone for a little while. And I think a return is just natural.
I think that there should be... So I'll tell you this. This may
Okay.
be skipping ahead a little bit.
No, fine.
I agree with that, but I think that should be another mode. Like, the hard mode of the game should have ink ribbons.
I can see that, like the normal mode not having it, and then maybe like professional is the ink ribbon mode.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that was another thing I wanted to talk about. We can talk about it later if you don't want to talk about it now, but
we can talk about it
defining
right
the
now.
new hard mode. Because we're
So,
going to go through every
have-
section and talk about what we want changed. But before
I
we
have
do
four
that,
difficulties.
oh,
I have four
interesting.
difficulties written down.
What are they?
So, in my head, normal would still have the ink ribbons, right? Professional would have less ink ribbons, so we can change that. Normal is normal. Professional is ink ribbons. Nightmare is very few ink ribbons. And like, I want to say you probably have maybe 5 to 10 ink ribbons in the entire game. And then I have Inferno, which, right? Which would have enemy placements changed, but there are going to be more sub bosses around. It's not so much you're just fighting ganados everywhere.
I like that.
You might have, the claw guys, the Garradors, in the maze in the castle
Oh gosh, that's
with
horrible.
you. Stuff like that. That's my idea of it. And it will just, naturally be harder. Maybe have fewer merchants in between points.
You're going to like something I have to say then, because I've got a whole idea about mini bosses.
I think we might have the same idea, but go on.
Okay, so this is kind of a little bit of a spoiler. But one of the things I wanted to change about the game has to do with the treasures.
Yeah?
I'd like there to be more of a risk reward for getting
Okay.
treasures and like assembling them.
I like it.
So what I would do is I would give you the treasure map off the bat, so you don't have to buy it. I just wish that you would be able to find them a little bit more easily, but that the risk would be that once you start collecting the key items, or not the key items, but the treasures. Like say for example, you get the beer stein up
Yes.
until you finish assembling it and sell it, and then continuing afterwards, a mini boss specifically for the beer stein begins following you.
Oh.
And like
And I
attempting
think
to
you
kill
have something that you would really like, I have to say.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, by the way, really quickly though,
yes, sir.
I have 3 ideas for enemies for those mini bosses that would follow you, and I want you to help me with the
Oh.
last 2. But I want you to
Okay.
continue with what you're saying because we can come back to that.
So, let's just start. I think a good way to talk about this and to naturally talk about your treasures and your new sub bosses is to just start from the beginning
Yeah.
of the village, pretty much, and just go back and forth. Because I have about, I have about 6 changes or ideas specifically for the entire area of village. I don't know
Nice.
how many you have, but let's just go back and forth and talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'll start because I'm number 1.
Gosh.
My idea for this remake, and this will also be kind of like a spoiler for another game mode I had, which is kind of like a cop out. I'll just tell. It'll probably be easier if I just describe the game mode. It'll just be called classic mode.
Oh no, I think you're gonna say my idea.
Oh no. All of the enemy placements will be the same as Resident Evil 4 on GameCube or PS2, wherever you played it. And there are doors like where they would be. It would be just like playing the new game on a nice engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want the remake to get rid of these doors or gates in the village.
So it's all like
Just
one
be
level.
One level, right? But, so this is where I get into something I'll change. So that's kind of like part one of this idea, and here's part 2. The Ganados are like a herd Mr. X, where they will follow you throughout the entire map of the village.
Mm.
And they can go through any doors, any houses you go into. They will, if they see you and they catch you, they will follow you until they lose you, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Like they're all Mr. X's, as in they follow you and hunt you down. Like they're really looking for you, you know?
They're really looking.
They're not gonna. You can't just go through a gate and just like have them respawn to where they were. How does that sound to you?
I like it. I think the only thing that I would just combine it with my idea and just have it be those mini bosses.
Perfect.
But the only reason I would do that is just because I think if it was a bunch of Ganados, it would just get really annoying.
It could get annoying, yeah.
Like it wouldn't be as suspenseful as if it was like one of the reasons Mr. X is so suspenseful is that he's hard to kill or impossible to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that just if we made it like the mini bosses, that might make it a little bit more suspenseful. But I love the idea, and that's what I was going for, right?
Okay. So, what's your idea? Because that's the end of my first idea.
Okay, I'll just tell you the 2 I made up for, or the 1 I made up, I guess, for
Village.
Village. And I want you to help me make it make sense with the beer stein, because I kind of just designed a monster that I thought would be cool.
Oh, okay.
Not that it is that great. Because like I don't know how to make this work. But it would be a special ganado. I'm trying to think if it would like, I don't know why it would make sense with the beer stein, but you find the beer stein, and as you collect it, it follows you more aggressively. But first it looks like just a normal ganado,
Okay.
and as you shoot it, a unique plagas comes out of its head, and like the body collapses and it like drags itself on the ground after you.
Dude, I have that written down.
Isn't that dope? Like, what a cool idea. I love that we both had it.
Right? Like, that would be so neat. Like,
terrifying.
It would be scary.
Right? That's
Having
what I'm
this,
saying.
like, Plagas arm dragging a corpse really fast at you.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was
snake?
thinking. And the
Oh my
more
gosh.
parts you collect, the faster it comes at you.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And, but yeah, I don't know how to connect that with the beer stein. You know what I mean? But that's the idea, is that there be a mini boss like that associated with each major treasure.
It could be like, I mean, let's say it's Dom Pedro's beer stein, right?
Yeah. Oh, it just could be Don Pedro.
It could be. But let's say like near the beer stein, there's a dead ganado. So you think,
I like that.
right?
I like that.
And then you take it, and then like, I don't know, maybe his like head tilts to the side more, and it rips open.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the start of it. But then like once you get like the cat eye or something, because that's what you combine it with, right?
I believe so. It's the cat eyes. Yeah.
Like maybe the next time you pass through there, you'll see that he's not there anymore, or like you see blood trails around.
And then it starts. Oh my gosh, it'll be so good.
And then you start like seeing it moving and stuff.
Yes, and just
That'd
the
be pretty
suspense that would come with that. And so yeah, I totally agree.
That's a great idea to have it be a sub boss, like connected with a treasure, which I have trophy that could be linked to this and something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is that the end of your first one?
Yeah, that's pretty much the end of my first one. So you tell me another one of your ideas.
Something to do with the crows.
Ooh, I agree. I totally agree.
I want the crows to be signs or guides to treasures, secret paths, ammo. But some of the crows are traps.
Like mimics?
Mimics, yeah. Maybe like you can tell if like one of them has a red eye or something, but they'll lead you to danger.
I like that. I love that. And that would get rid of the treasure map. Like you don't need a treasure map if you have these crows that tell you where stuff is. I love that.
Kind of like Ghost of Tsushima with the foxes and with the hawks and stuff. You just follow them. I want it to be kind of like that.
Except they're evil.
Except they're evil and they'll try to trick you.
I love that. Could you imagine a tiny little Plagas coming out of their head?
Be perfect.
But yeah, I think that's
exactly
a
what I
great
want.
idea, man. That's a fantastic idea.
But yeah, I have a couple trophies that have to deal with the crows, but
that's gonna be cool, man. I like that.
Yeah. That kind of spoils the end of the episode.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the episode, are we gonna end with our trophies?
Should we? No, they'll
Trophies
be
in
like
the
the
middle.
middle. Trophies
Because
in the
we
middle.
all have a ton of trophies that we made for the
because
games. So
as we all know, Resident Evil 4 on PS3 and 4 has only like 10 trophies and no platinum.
it's ridiculous.
And it's a sin.
It is a sin. It's ridiculous. How could it not have a I agree.
Okay, that's the end of my second one.
I got another
really glad you liked
wildlife themed one for you.
Oh, good. No.
So it has to do with the dog.
No.
This is the thing. And this is a general idea for the entire game again, where I'd like to see something like this occur in each area, and you can help me out with that. But
Okay.
I would like it if in the beginning, if you help the dog, obviously it'll still help you, but if you kill the dog,
Yeah.
like a psychopath like me,
Yeah.
it's self-defense perhaps. If you kill the dog, zombie dogs will be a lot more common in your playthrough.
Oh, I like that.
Does that make sense?
Like a karma system almost.
Exactly, but like not on the surface, like it would never tell you.
Yeah,
but
of
also,
course.
for example, if you shoot crows, they're going to lead you to danger more often, right?
I like that.
Isn't
yeah.
that dope? And like,
Or
so
if
like,
you shoot their nests out of the trees.
exactly to get eggs. And guess what? I love that. And then so stuff like that, where like if you do something, it has consequences, but not on the nose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not in your face about it.
Yeah, and then of course we could adjust the good consequence to be better. I don't know what we would do if you don't shoot the dog. Maybe you just see him and he guides you or helps you a little bit. But I really like the idea of if you
Maybe
do something
he can
like shoot the
make the beer stein guy easier.
yeah, stuff like that. Like they'll
Like,
help
he
with the
can,
mini
like-
boss.
Like maybe the pupper will grab his ankles while he's like chasing you,
I like that.
so it slows it down more.
Yeah, and yeah, I love that. I think that's great. Stuff like that, you know? But I would like something like the dog and the consequences we just talked about to be in every area. One for village, one for castle, one for island.
I totally agree. I love that. That's such a good idea.
You hear us, Capcom?
You hear us, Capcom? Um, I
Yeah, but
have
tell me about your next one.
It's not crazy, but Dr. Salvador is one enemy. There is not multiple chainsaw men. There's just Salvador, and he is hard to kill. He's almost like the dad in Resident Evil 7,
Mm-hmm.
where he just keeps coming back. Because I think it goes from being a chainsaw guy to it's Dr. Salvador. Like, he does have a name, and I feel like he should be one character. And
Oh, like
like,
another
'cause
sub boss, but it goes throughout the entire game.
kind of, yeah. There's no Salvadors on Island, but I know there's one in the mines of Castle.
Well, there's two.
There's two, yeah.
Weirdly.
So, because, like, if you do kill him in Resident Evil 4, he drops his ruby, but he doesn't dissolve like the rest of them really do.
Yeah, he just stays there.
He just stays there. So, actually, now that I think about it,
There's a bunch, actually.
there's
There's two in
three
the minecart.
Salvadors. Yeah.
There's two in
yeah,
the
there's
minecart
there's
and
like
two in
five.
the house. Yeah.
And then one in the mine with the boulder.
Yeah, yeah. What
Wow,
the heck?
that's a lot of Salvadors.
They're family.
I like the Salvadors being there, though.
Me too. I mean, I don't know. It could be.
It could be the finale of Dr. Salvador is on the minecart, like a big fight with Salvador on the minecart.
That could be pretty cool. Like, change up the minecart a little bit. Like, ooh, we're getting ahead of ourselves, Chris. This is Castle.
Whoa. But yeah, that's just my idea. You can kill him. He'll go down. You can grab the ruby or whatever, but he won't dissolve like the rest of them do, and he'll come back later.
I like that.
That's my idea. What's
I like
yours?
that a lot. I wanted to ask you what you think. Oh, I had a game mode idea that I think fits pretty well into this. You mentioned a classic mode.
Mm-hmm.
And remind me again, what exactly, it was like enemy placement.
Classic
correct?
mode will be enemy placement, and there will be doors in between. Like how it would just
Yeah,
be
that
like
you have to
playing Resident
kick.
Evil 4 up-res or remake.
So I'd like to add something to that, which I thought would be really cool. And
I like it.
I would say that there has to be a trophy associated with classic mode. I haven't named one, but
Oh, I haven't either, which is
a sin.
I'll come up with them on the fly.
But I'd like classic mode to not really be its own mode, but to be like an amendment to a mode. Does that make sense? Like, you can play classic Inferno, classic normal, classic whatever.
I like that.
And
I like
the thing
that.
is that classic mode would have classic controls.
I was gonna say that. Yes.
I would love
Yes,
that.
yes.
So, like, it's still tank controls. Oh my freaking gosh, I would love
That
that.
would be so awesome.
I'm so glad
Play
you
with
agree.
your D-pad.
Yes. I can play with my D-pad again.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Oh, that's awesome.
Gosh, it's so good. Like, I don't know why the idea of playing with worse controls is so attractive to me, but
It's just the way you gotta play it.
yeah, I totally agree. So that would be one of my
And
ideas, is that I'd want...
It would be cool to
that.
have like online leaderboards of like
I agree.
beating Inferno on Classic.
Mhm.
That'd be pretty dang cool.
Oh my gosh, this game needs to exist. But
It
our
will.
version, because this isn't what they're going to do. I guarantee
No,
it.
our version's way better though.
Oh gosh.
Believe me. Okay.
This episode was a bad idea. It's just going to make us
Yeah.
like miss the things that are never going to exist. Gosh
Yeah.
darn it.
Maybe somebody will hear this and I don't know, do something with it. I like that idea though. Is it my turn?
Yes. Although I want to tell you something. I sent you a video. I don't know if you ever watched it. But there's a guy who's remaking Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, or maybe just 1. But he's remaking, I think, Resident Evil 1 in the Resident Evil 4 engine as a mod.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks so cool. Like, I watched
Really?
part of it. It's amazing, dude. It's like
Nice.
literally the original game, but like really good looking. Because let's be real, Resident Evil 4 still looks good. Oh, my
Oh,
gosh,
yeah.
it's really cool. So I'll have to send it to you again so you can see it. But
That is
anyway,
really cool.
Tell me
I'd
your
like to see
idea,
that.
man.
Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm here now. There's a second Del Lago fight
Oh, that's what. Ooh, interesting. You want a second
If you go,
Dolago?
yes, and it's after the cutscene. After you defeat him the first time, you can go back into the water and have that second fight with him, where he's covered in harpoons.
This is fulfilling a childhood dream of yours.
Yes, it is.
That'd be cool.
I'm a little selfish, but I'm doing it.
Just a little bit. Would you have to kill him with harpoons again, or would you be able to go all out on him this time?
Yeah, because harpoons weren't enough.
Evidently.
Evidently. Maybe flame harpoons.
Hello. Gotta catch
There
him
we
on
go.
fire in the water. Because there are sharks in the water.
Yeah, sharks in the waters. It would break the game if, like, somehow Leon found an RPG in the little hut.
That's true, because you could just not use it on the
And
water.
at this point in time, like, you only really have the shotgun and the pistol,
Which is not very good for fighting a giant
which
alligator.
isn't very good.
So,
Maybe, let's say if you shoot the water, like the trophy tells you not to, Del Lago will get on the shore. And you have to fight him there.
I don't know how. That'd be cool, though.
Like maybe he doesn't get all the way out, it's just like half his body.
Uh-huh.
And maybe like his tongue is like a plagas thing where
Oh,
he
I
can
can see
whip
that.
you. You know? And but he's a lot weaker now, obviously. So the fight with him on the shore could be good.
I like that. I like the idea. What if he... How about this?
Hmm.
What if he... For example, how about this? When you first approach, it forces you to go up the lookout, and you see him... You remember when they're throwing the dynamite into the water? Or whatever they're shooting into the water? How about the guy has a rocket launcher, and you see him eat the guy with the rocket launcher, and one of his attacks when he's on land is like vomiting up on you. And eventually, after like the third time, he vomits up the rocket launcher, which you can then use
I
on
like
him.
that.
Something like that?
Or maybe Del Lago has a baby. And it's just a really small Del Lago with legs. And he fights you on the shore. He's
That'd
like
be
faster.
terrifying.
And, like terrifying.
That'd be like Baby Del Lago.
Yeah. Because there's enemies in Resident Evil 3 Remake that look kind of like Del Lago. But they just have two legs. And they're like terrifying looking.
I agree. What if there were little alligators you could kill that would like
Yeah.
provoke that second boss fight if you killed them?
Uh-huh.
Or something. I don't know. I
like
like
it.
the idea though. I like that.
Yeah. But that's it.
I love it.
I would like to see that.
And that's honestly like all the ideas I had to change for the first one. I have other ideas
Oh.
in general, but I didn't have a whole lot of things I wanted to change.
Just specifically for Village.
Yeah, like for me, the things I want to change are mostly an island. I don't really want to change
Okay.
a whole lot about village or about castle.
Okay.
So that's just
Well,
that's where I'm at.
I have one last thing for Village.
Ooh, tell me.
Because I agree with you. Village is probably my favorite area in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely the one I enjoy the most.
It's the most iconic, I think.
Yeah. And like we said before, Mendez is our favorite boss.
So
I
good.
think.
So
And he is just so good. His whole style is so good. Just the way he looks and the design.
I love the big cheese, baby.
Oh, he's so good. And another thing that I'll bring up is I'm happy neither of us have changed anything with Ada or Luis yet.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely nothing has to be changed because
They're perfect.
they're perfect. They're
They're
perfect.
perfect.
Especially Luis.
I love Luis. Ay, ay, ay. A little
Ay,
rat.
ay, ay. But I have one more change. I want you to either go about in one of two ways. I want you to be able to get into El Gigante's like lair, his den.
Mm-hmm.
Like either maybe after you killed the second El Gigante in the two paths,
Mm-hmm.
there's like maybe a side door or a cage that you can go through. but maybe you can just, after killing him the first time, maybe he doesn't blow up the cave entrance, but you can go in there, and there's like maybe a new merchant is right there. Well, that would make sense because there's already one, but maybe new treasures, something cool. Maybe it's like a way to get to a secret firing range.
Oh, I like that. That's a good idea.
You know, maybe have some more lore behind it.
Yes.
Maybe a new weapon, you know, stuff like that. But I would like for you to be able to explore El Gigantes.
El Gigante.
El Gigantes.
Do you know what that means, by the way?
The giant.
Okay, good. I was
Right.
making sure.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's what it means.
But I think that would be cool.
I like that idea. I think that'd be
And
cool, man.
oh, this is another idea I had for it. In the cave, you would find failed El Gigantes.
Ooh, I like that.
Just half deformed, dead ones that were too weak for the Plagas.
Mm-hmm.
So like their bodies couldn't handle it. Or you could even find like one half deformed one that you could kill.
I like that too.
Just like a smaller El Gigante.
That'd be good.
Yeah. But that's all I had for the village.
Oh, I guess I have one more thing.
Oh, okay.
The elegant headdress is in the village, right?
One of them is, yes.
Okay, I guess there's multiple. Or I mean, no, that, not the headdress. The elegant mask is what I meant.
One of them is, yes.
I thought what would be cool for that as a mini boss. I don't know how the mini bosses would like coincide. They'd have to be, you know, in a certain area, I imagine. But
Yeah.
for the elegant mask, it'd be cool if there were two Bella sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and they each had like
Oh.
half a mask and like a tattered dress. But this is the thing.
Okay.
Until they finally like encounter you, you think there's only one. Because they each have like half a mask, and you won't notice that it's switching sides. And I think it'd be really cool if, you know, they're like pursuing you, but you only think there's one, and then eventually, you know, you get to a point where they both attack you, and you're like, crap, there's two.
No, it'd be cool. If, like, let's say since they each have a half mask, whichever half doesn't have the mask, that arm is like limp. So they're one-handing these chainsaws,
That'd be
which would
dope.
be terrifying.
I
It'd be
very much
really
agree.
cool looking.
I think that'd
Like
be
one
really
has
cool.
it on the left, one has it on the right. Just almost just reversed image, like flipped image.
Exactly. And like, you know, some people might get it if they're thinking, but I totally agree. I think that'd be great.
That's a great idea.
But
I
that's
love
my
it.
last thing for Village.
Okay, so we're on to the castle. We kill Mendez. Rosmond, right? No. that's combining the two. What's Mendez's first name again?
Dude, I have no clue. I always just call him the Big Cheese. If I'm being honest with you.
You killed the cheese.
The Big Cheese.
And we get to the castle. My idea for the zealots, or the monks as they are, is that they're very plodding and methodical. And they're not, I want to change it so they're not so much there to fight you head on, but they're plotting to trap you at all times.
That's interesting.
And I want there to be a way where you can lose Ashley at any moment in the castle. Like you do the first time in the game, where
Yeah.
like the gates go up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want there to be like traps before that where you could lose her early.
You just want to get rid of Ashley.
No. See, I didn't change a thing about Ashley in all of my notes.
Mm-hmm. I didn't either.
Or like the way that you dealt with her or helped her out. I want that to all pretty much stay the same. Maybe something changes when you're playing as her, but that would be it. But I would like it to like, if you lose her early, maybe you're on a timer at that moment.
Ooh, interesting. So you got to go
You know.
quicker.
Maybe there won't be a physical timer that you see or anything, but it's like, maybe like as oh, this would be mean, the longer you take, the less health she has when you get her back.
Oh no. Sorry, Ashley.
And Maybe that would be a bad idea. Maybe there's no timer at all, but
But I like
because
the
like if
idea
there
that it's
was,
easier to
people would
lose her.
try to lose her faster.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like it's hard to balance like you actually wanting to have her. Maybe there's more
But
of a buff to
maybe
having her with you.
maybe there's a buff, but if you lose her earlier, it blocks you out of a lot of areas you would usually get to.
Oh, interesting.
Because you would want to get to, you'd try to find like the sewers or whatever to get to her faster.
Yeah,
Maybe that could be it.
I like that. I mean, what if you just need her to access more areas?
Yeah.
Like,
Because
for
like you
example,
do,
she's good at something.
well, like she
that
helps
helps
you
you
get
move
the
forward.
magnum for free in the castle.
Hmm.
So stuff like that could be useful.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe she picks up items for you, kind of like what's her name in BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
Just so she has a use, so that when she's gone, you feel her absence, or you can't
Yes.
reach certain things. I think that'd be a good idea. So losing
That'd be
her
cool.
actually is wrong. Like, you don't want to lose her.
Mm-hmm.
Also, make
I like
players
that.
not hate her as much.
Yes.
Yes.
That is my first idea, is that the zealots are less headstrong and more plotting.
Yeah, more smart.
Yeah.
Or not smart, but conniving, plotting.
Yeah,
Yes,
conniving.
I like that.
They're always trying to trick you into something.
Ooh, that'd be good. Like a coyote.
Like a coyote or a crow.
Like a crow. We just have lots of people tricking people on this now. I agree, though. I love that idea. I have another idea for castle, and it's really my only idea. But I guess I have two, because I have one for the butterfly lamp. But first, I'll tell you just my idea in general about the Novistadors. We just need to change them. Something's wrong.
So
man.
I have one thing that involves the Novistadors. But tell me, like, what would you want to change? Because, like, I don't like them either.
This is the thing.
But what would we do?
I don't hate their design, personally.
Yeah,
I
the
think
design
they're
is fun.
okay. What
It's
I
not
would
the best
change-
design though.
No, especially not in this game. I mean, this game is full of fantastic designs. So if you're just okay, you're gonna stand out. I would make them have a different sound to indicate them, right? Because it's the flapping wings, which is a
Yes,
little
which
scary.
is-
But I'd have it be a little bit creepier.
Well, I always thought what was creepy was the footsteps,
Yeah, yeah.
like getting closer and closer. That always terrifies me.
Something like that. Just a little bit clickier, a little bit more buggy. And I'd have them be more invisible. Like, I'd have them be invisible except for like puffs of dust, and when you shoot them, they become visible for like a split second.
It's kind of like how they are in Resident Evil 5.
Oh, really?
So in Resident Evil 5, I forgot what they're called, but they turn invisible, but you see this like gas emitting from them that makes it
Yeah.
kind of blurry, so you can still kind of see them. And then once you like spot them and shoot them, like they like hunch down because they're hurt, and their weak spots pop out.
Just something like that. Like, I don't know
Less of them, but they're more deadly.
exactly, right? And I'd like them to be sneakier. Like, they're on the ceiling, they're on the walls.
Less flying, more crawling around.
Yeah, and it's like very silent. Very quiet, except for they're walking.
Yeah. But this is a perfect segue into my next one,
Ooh.
which is the hive boss in the castle
Yeah.
has a queen. So it's not just a bunch of them. Like, there could be some, but I want there to be a queen Novistador.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would do. Maybe this is the one that flies, like a queen ant almost.
Guess who's got an idea?
Tell me your idea.
So it fits perfectly with what you're talking about, but it's associated with a treasure.
I like it.
So, and this is one of those treasures where it's like almost impossible to miss, because you get all the pieces from killing Novistadors. And it's really easy to find the butterfly lamp. But once you find the butterfly lamp, she begins to hatch, right?
Yes.
And the way she works when she spawns, and like when she starts to follow you, or however she's going to pursue you, and I don't know if this would really work, but I like the idea of her not being as invisible, more easy to see.
Yeah.
Maybe she flies. maybe she's like the way I envisioned her was that she comes out of the sack early almost. And have you like in what's it called? I feel so stupid. Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away.
Oh, yes.
No Name or whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
You know how he like just drags his body and gets guts everywhere and like slams things in the walls? That's how I envision her.
Oh.
And she has like these pustules that if you shoot them, baby Novicidors come out in like a swarm.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Right? But you have to destroy the pustules because those are her weak spots. But every time you destroy one, all of the swarm comes at you and you have to kill them somehow.
Oh my gosh.
But it would, yeah.
That would be so disgusting to watch.
What?
You get killed by her, right?
Yeah.
And she grabs you and holds you up and like in an old school fashion spits on your face like the regular ones do. Mm-hmm. But it's like a thicker, pussier substance. And it just melts through your face.
Ugh. Heck yeah.
Disgusting. Or what if oh my gosh.
The little bugs come out.
What if she impregnates you through your mouth?
Ew.
With the baby.
Whoa, wait a second, Chris.
What?
The Novicidors, they only spawn from dead bodies.
Whoa.
We're retarded. That's so easy.
That's
such
awesome.
a good idea.
That is a really good idea.
Dang, man.
Oh, dang.
Look at us. I love that. That would make them so much more
if you're
creepy.
in the sewers, you see like bloated bodies around, maybe like floating in the water. Oh my gosh, that'd be disgusting.
And when you first encounter one of the Novicidors, it's you go past a body in the sewer. You think it's going to get up. It doesn't. You come back and the body's like chest is splayed open, like something came out. Yeah.
Oh, it's disgusting. I love it.
Anyway, so I love both these ideas. I think they fit together so well. That's what we should do. That's what they should do.
That's what we should do.
When we remake this game. Oh man, that'd be
Perfect.
so great. But that's really all I have for Castle, though.
Okay, I have about 5 more. 6 more maybe. And they're kind of general. Like one of them is I want there to be more hidden rooms, like behind bookcases and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want there to be no modern architecture at all, which will play into the Verdugo fight. Because usually he's in a sewer, like an underground room. It has elevators and stuff.
With
to me,
nitrogen
it just
canisters.
it just makes no sense to me.
Interesting.
Right?
I understand that. Yeah.
So I instead want there to be a dungeon, like a classic castle dungeon. You know.
So how would this change the Verdugo fight? Because I like that, but
So the Verdugo fight, it's you get into some sort of like bottomless pit almost that Leon escapes from brilliantly,
of course.
and there's a merchant down there.
Why not?
And like I love how you can find the crown down there and stuff. I want the dungeon to have more of that old school Salazar family down there.
Ooh, hello.
Just more history involved with the castle. And this would just change where the Verdugo fight is. He will still be hunting you after Salazar basically sticks him on you. But maybe he's, instead of like just crawling under you, under like the water grates or whatever, or in the ceiling, he is, I don't know, just behind the bars sometimes. You can't see him. It's really dark down there.
He blends into the shadows.
Yeah, he blends in really well. So that's my idea for it. It'll change the location of the fight, not so much how the fight is.
You just need something else to freeze him or stun him.
So there could still be the canisters. Like maybe that's just where they hold them. And like maybe you can find other things that they have acquired, other what's the word? Just items that they use for the castle. They could probably still be down there, but
I mean, you could use like black powder instead and just have the opposite thing happen.
Yeah,
Like
just
he's on
something,
fire and he's stunned when he's on fire.
yeah. But this could also change with the classic mode,
I like that.
where you just bring it back,
Yeah.
and then the canisters can be there. Well, that's just my thought.
I like that. And actually, that inspired me. Can I say something?
Yes.
I really liked what you said about Salazar history.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I'd really like added to the game is like maybe not audio logs, but notes that you can read.
Yes, like an index, like something you can, like an entire history
Yeah,
or
like
index of
Luis's.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, like Luis's notes, but for the entire, just the history of the castle, the history of the village, and then like it just depicts like their descent into madness. I would love that.
I would love that too.
But what's your next one?
The Knights.
Oh, the Connects.
Yes.
Sorry.
I want them to not be how they are.
I
want to change it.
They feel very out of place.
Yes.
I like them because like they're Resident Evil 4, but at the same time, like they're probably the enemies that make the least sense in the entire game.
I agree. But this is where that changes, baby.
Oh, okay.
So instead, I'll keep the Knights in. But instead, they're going to be more of a free-flowing Plagas that's just covered in armor. Not so much walking stiff as they are, but like you've seen the Ouroboros in Resident Evil 5, correct?
I don't think
Like
so.
the black tentacles that move around and they're just like these.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but it's just covered in armor.
Ooh.
So
I've got an idea to go with
I want them to kind of like No Name,
Yeah.
just drag its guts around with this body of armor around it.
Should it be like
And like the pieces of armor are just floating in this massive Plagas.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I thought you meant more like a regenerator, but like times 3. Where it's like shambling, but I see what you mean. More like a gelatinous sort of deal.
Yeah, more gelatinous. Thank you. But that's just how I would envision them for this remake.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in classic mode, it'll go back.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, like, it would be pretty disturbing to fight it, especially if you lead it out of a room and like to where like there's dining tables and it's just eating through the dining tables and breaking it and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool.
I like that. And that kind of plays into, I guess, one of my ideas for it, which is to do with the crown.
Oh.
And it could be like a mini boss,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously maybe there'd be little versions of it, but there could be, one that's more, I don't know, more aggressive. I thought it would be cool to have like more in-depth item descriptions that give you more story, so like you could learn about the family.
Yes,
and like
that'd be
members
cool.
of the family could be seen in it, if that makes sense. Like, for example, if you find a picture of them, it tells you a little bit about them, and then like you can recognize their face in the thing or something. I don't know, something like that.
That'd be pretty dang cool, my friend.
But I agree, some sort of awful, disgusting night blob that comes at you, and maybe it's not even like night armor. Maybe it's just a blob that Katamari Dame sees like through the room and like picks
that'd
up
be
everything.
cool.
And
That'd be really cool.
Granted, now we've got a couple blob monsters, but but you know what I mean.
What Resident Evil game doesn't have a blob monster of some
be real,
of some kind?
It's true. Blob monsters are
Right?
kind of a thing.
My next one. This is kind of like going back to the Verdugo fight. We kind of talked about it, touched on it a little bit. He would be more stealthy and more deadly, but we already said that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The maze.
Oh, I forgot about the maze.
I want the maze to be bigger and scarier.
More like a
Almost
maze.
like... I know you say I bring up Harry Potter a lot, even though I don't really like it.
I was like, you
But I
hate
want
Harry
it to be
Potter.
like the Goblet of Fire's maze, where it's really tall
Hello.
and maybe moves around.
Ooh. Oh.
Maybe.
I like that. I like that.
Maybe not.
I like the idea.
But you have the dogs in there, and you can find the treasure chest, and you're trying to get the moon pieces for the door to meet with Lady Ada.
Later.
But Lady Ada Wong.
Later. You know, it'd be cool.
But I think what would be kind of cool,
Tell me.
this might be too ambitious, but if the maze was a direct mirror of the layout of the playable castle,
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
but it just have to be like,
Mini.
yes. Yes.
I like the idea.
I think that would be cool though.
What if this? Can I tell you an idea?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about the blob monster and how it activates when you get the crown and so on and so forth.
Yes.
What if when you get to the end and you put the emblems in, the mini boss fight begins there and you see it like burst through a wall and start going through the maze and like consuming it, but you have to make your way out of the maze to fight it.
Ooh.
So it's like a running segment, but you have to actually remember the maze and like plot a way out because it's crushing through the maze.
Yeah. That'd be terrifying.
And then, you know, then after it gets out, you're in an open place and you can fight it. But
yes,
I think that'd be so terrifying. Could you imagine?
I love that. Yeah. It's
scary,
terrifying,
dude.
though.
You look back and it's just going through the hedge you had to walk around.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, we're so good at this.
Yes, we are. Let's see.
I wouldn't change Salazar, though. I love Salazar. He's so funny. He's fantastic.
I thought I changed something there. What's going on?
You fool.
I am a fool. You're right. Oh, I remember it, but that's all I have for the castle. I know you love the castle, and I do too. I love all these areas, but oh, I have one more thing.
What's that?
Like Columbo.
Look at you.
One more thing. The firing range. I want it to have more purpose and meaning.
Like it can earn you a special gun?
That. I have 2 parts to this, but I won't spoil the second part until we get to the island. But this first part, instead of like the wooden like targets, I want the merchant to be like a grave robber, and I want him to use the corpses of bodies you've killed already, including Salvador, Mendez, and at this point like Verdugo, the Garradors. I want him to have like, I want the merchant to be really creepy, like not up front, just like an underlying like what are you really, like what are you doing here? You're following me and like taking all these bodies, you know, that I've killed.
I just had a great idea.
It better not be the idea I already came up with.
It is probably the idea you already came up with, but it's combined with my own. If you turn in all the key treasures, he becomes like a mini boss.
Okay, that's my idea.
Yes. You're welcome.
That is pretty much exactly what I had in mind, except for one little thing. But this one makes more sense. I like it. I was going to go with this one, but I came up with another one. Where if you killed every single merchant, the last one would be a mini boss.
I see.
But I like this one more because you can plan it more. It's more strategic, and you can still use the merchant.
And again, it's risk reward. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I bet if you kill him, then you just get everything. I don't know.
Yes.
Like there'd have to be some sort of way to buy
the best part. The best part is, after you kill him, the merchants are just still around. Yeah. Like he's just still there.
That'd be funny.
You know, he's just this anomaly. It would be kind of campy and funny. Like it would fit, right?
I think it would, and I'd love the camp to stick around. If they make this game, because can I say something about like? I feel like a lot of people super disagree with me when it comes to like my stance on like the swearing in this game. Like, why should you have a problem with swearing when you're literally murdering people? Like, I get that.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think some of it's just down to like, I just don't like swearing. You know, like some people don't like garlic. You know, some people don't like spicy things. Some people just don't like, you know, hearing swear words. Yeah. But I think that especially in a game like this, where like half of its appeal for me is the campiness. And I just feel like when
the almost the scent of lightheartedness.
Yeah, like you can tell that it's not actually serious. And just the idea that Leon would like start like swearing and stuff, and like everyone else would start swearing, it just feels like it would take away from the campiness for me because it would make it more real. If that makes sense.
No thanks, bro.
No thanks, bro. Like who says that? You know,
Right?
Like only Leon Kennedy says that.
Only Leon S. Kennedy would say that. Scott
Right?
Kennedy.
That's right. And you know, the same with everything. Like, where'd everyone go? Bingo. Like, they're gonna change that. You know what I mean?
No, they're not.
They better not. But the thing is, I just feel like they're gonna start
I
adding
don't think they can
swear
because
words.
like that is the line before you see the title card of the game.
Which, like, what were they thinking? but I'm glad they did it. But you know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
it's
that's
not
what I
even
have.
just because I don't like swearing. It's just I feel like it would ruin the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
That's
agree
how
with
I
you.
personally feel. Like Leon wouldn't swear because Leon doesn't need to worry. He's Leon. He's not worried.
He's just trying to get the president's daughter.
This is every day for Leon.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, that's how I.
You should have seen what he was doing the other day.
Yeah, like it makes sense for the Ganados to swear, and they do all the time. But like for me, it wouldn't make sense for Leon. And I don't want them to change Luis's lines because they're perfect. So
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I just had a good idea.
Tell me.
I won't.
Okay. But we can move on to Island. I guess we're kind of there, aren't we?
Yeah, we're kind of there, but I had some general changes that we just talked about with the merchant. One of the ideas was finishing all the shooting ranges unlocked to the hidden merchant boss. But I feel like I'll flip it. So finishing all the shooting ranges will give you a new gun and or a new costume where you can dress up as the merchant.
I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah.
But it'd be Leon without the hood on though. So you can still see his iconic hair, of course.
Of course.
But he would just be wearing the merchant's cloak. Maybe the merchant like takes him under his wing as like an apprentice or something.
That'd be cool. I mean, the same actor
There's a
plays
trophy
both,
idea.
so there's something in there.
Merchant's apprentice. That's
Hello.
the new trophy for getting the costume. There you go.
I like that.
See, we're geniuses.
That's right.
But we're going to the island. We're following Krauser
Yes.
on his little boat.
Woman.
We just killed Salazar, which I don't want to change anything about any of the boss fights.
Me too. I think the boss fights are pretty
for one.
much perfect, except for, you know,
Maybe one.
yeah. We're probably thinking about the same one. But anyways, continue.
It might be. My first idea, which there's a trend here. I've changed the mindset of all of the enemies, of all of, like the basic enemies in the game. So we had the villagers being like a herd Mr. X where they follow you. But you can lose them after getting like into certain areas. The zealots are more plotting and conniving. The commandos, I want them to hide more and use like guerrilla tactics.
Yeah.
And I want them to use like trapdoor tactics where like you'll see like wooden planks on the ground and they'll pop out of those or something
Oh, dang. We're back in
and
Bam.
chase you. Yeah, exactly. I want them to be more like that. And like they can still have RPGs because that's just funny. I don't know if they should still have crossbows or if they should have guns. I don't want them to have guns.
It just feels
But it just
out of
makes
place.
sense. It doesn't make sense for them to have crossbows.
Like,
But they can
both,
just have
neither
guns.
makes sense. You know what I mean?
Well, the crossbows for like the zealots maybe make sense.
That makes sense for
because
them, but the island's different.
Island's very different. It's very militaristic, you know.
Can
It's
I
a
say
military
something about the
compound
island?
pretty much.
It is a military compound. Can I say one thing about the island?
Yes, please.
It is.
What negative thing do you have to say about the island?
This is the thing. It's both one of. I mean, there's only 3, but it's both like my favorite area, and easily my least favorite area.
I agree with you.
There's like. The enemies are my least favorite in the game, hands down, easily. I don't like JJ. I kind of think the normal enemies look dumb with like the gas masks and like the barbed wire all over them.
Yeah.
I don't like the stun batons.
Yes.
It's like weird. Like what's going on with these stun batons? And yes, I don't like that. And I wish more of it was lab and like dilapidated office building sort of deal. Like maybe that seems samey, but
no.
And I also really hate the ending. Not hate. I don't like the ending at all. Where when you're approaching Krauser and the helicopter's helping you. Like I wish that was all cinematic. I don't like
those trenches and stuff.
I hate that part. And I hate the part where there's like all the miniguns looking at you.
That's an odd part for sure.
It just feels like it's from a different game. It's like you're in a war zone.
It does.
Does that make sense?
It's like where am I on this island? Like why is this on this island?
But
I agree with you.
I've got a great idea to fix it.
Tell me.
So I don't know what I would do with the first area. You know, when you first get there and they're like that little compound you have to.
So I like that first area.
I do too.
I like going into the building.
I would probably change the enemies a little bit, but I like it, and I wouldn't change it very much. But my whole thing has to do with regenerators, because they're the best enemy in the game, and they're terrifying. Okay, I love regenerators. Yes. And so the last treasure is the golden links. I don't know how we'd connect it, but I want it to be connected to this regenerator, essentially.
Okay, I like it.
And I want it to be that once you get into like, by the way, this idea isn't fully developed. This is just the ideas were flowing through my fingers. But you get in and you get the infrared scope, or you get whatever you need to out of the cold room, and you turn off the power. And I say it turns off like the power for everything. It's just only on emergency power, so it's darker. And then the regenerators start coming back. They start coming out. And I don't know how this would work, but I'd want it to be that when you kill a regenerator, the top part blows up, right? And when you go past it, but when you come back, the legs are gone.
Yes.
Similar tropes to what we've been seeing, but I'd want there to be a big regenerator boss that builds up from the enemies you've killed. So you can
like a Rat King.
Yes, exactly. Granted, we have a lot of Rat King like bosses in our game, but I like the idea of something that builds up and that you can determine the difficulty by killing more or killing less.
Oh, whoa!
That's what I mean, right? Like the more you kill, the more it grows. And this is the thing. In the end, instead of fighting all those guys, going through
you fight the giant regenerator.
And they fight it. Because it's just killing everybody.
Because it's killing everybody. You're right.
And it's just going through, and you're just running for your life. Trying to outrun these other Ganados.
I like it.
But again, the more Ganados you kill, the more they add to it behind you. And eventually, you have to get Mike to help you to kill the regenerator monster. Mike! But yeah, something like that.
I love that. I love that.
Because it would speed up that whole part. It would change it so it's not as out of place. It would make it more horror, and it would be more about the regenerators. So that's my pitch for changing Island. That's how I would change it in general.
I love it. That's very good, sir. My next one. Only one JJ.
Thank you.
And
I hate JJ.
He acts more as a leading Ganado, like a lieutenant to Sadler of some sort, or a lieutenant to Krauser, where he can kind of command the Ganados in a certain way.
I like that.
But I feel like you can't just take JJ out, or the JJs out. But maybe just take him out and take the Gatling guns out.
Yes.
Because they are out of place. Like, especially in the castle, where there's a giant Gatling gun in the middle of a room.
Yes.
That comes out of like a statue.
Yes. It's like, what is going on?
But that's what I would want. I would just have one JJ. Have more of a purpose. I do want him to say those stupid things still.
Yes. Me too.
Like when you can hear him getting ready to shoot his gun.
Yep.
Something like that.
Non-words. I agree.
And then, oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say that I think the first JJ should be what you're describing, and you know how you first encounter the second JJ right at the beginning of like all that Warzone stuff, pretty
The
much.
beginning of the end, pretty much.
I would have him like readying his gun or whatever he's gonna be using, and then the regenerator thing gets him, and that's how like that sequence begins. So you don't have to deal with him. But
That'd be funny. I like that a lot. But to tag along onto your regenerator thing, I want the Iron Maidens to be faster. And you know how there's those failed regenerators hanging around? Like you see them? I want those to be enemies also.
me too, man.
Like
Me too.
like very zombified regenerators that crawl with half their torso, you know.
And maybe they have less weak points, but so it's easier to kill them.
Maybe
But
these
they're
ones
still
don't
there.
even have like, maybe they just have one weak point because they're so deformed and weak.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or like, you know that guy in the regenerator surgery room that's being like attacked by the
Yeah.
spider plagas?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that guy can come to life, you know, and try to attack you.
Oh, what if he becomes the super regenerator?
Whoa, maybe.
Hello.
Oh, wow. I like that a lot.
That'd be
But
cool.
yeah, that was just a little thing to tag along with yours. But what's your next idea?
Man, I said everything at once, but let me look. Let me see.
I have a few more things to talk about.
Yeah, that was really. I kind of just said everything at once because it was all
I
kind of
like
one
it.
large connected idea.
You're
But-
right. It was. But that's perfect.
Because I wouldn't want to change Krauser or Krauser's area, even though it's so weird.
I love it though.
I just love Krauser. I don't know. I love Krauser and his whole boss fight. It's like one
I
of
like
my
it
favorite,
'cause-
even though it's so weird.
Yeah. Also, going back to the castle a little bit, we kind of mentioned it, but I don't feel like we really talked about it. But the minecart sequence, we're just changing that a little bit, right?
Yeah, we wouldn't get rid of it.
Pretty
It's
much-
classic. We have to keep it.
It's classic.
But-
Yeah. I would like the final Salvador fight to be there and be almost a cinematic.
Me too. I'd be down. And I wouldn't want to take out any QTEs. I
No.
love the QTEs. I think
Oh,
they're
they're
part of
great.
what makes this game so good and campy.
Like I'm not
and
like
I
the
love
boulders are great. Keep the boulders
it.
in.
Oh yeah,
But back to the island.
of course.
I had one general idea that could be kind of neat. You know Sadler's staff?
Mm-hmm.
I want there to be a bunch of them around the island that either weaken you or slow you down to like stimulate or simulate mind control or hypnosis
Of the Plagas inside of you.
inside of you.
I
And
think
you
it's
have
a
to
cool
like
idea.
shoot them and destroy them.
Yeah, like, one of them, if you try to
Just
aim
like
it,
an
like
eye
makes
of-
your aim less stable,
Yeah, I have them called Eyes of Sadler, like Eyes of Sauron.
Yes. I like
Because
it.
Leon is Frodo.
Of course.
But just an extra layer to the island to make it a little bit more interesting.
A little different. I like that a lot.
This is Sadler's place. This is his lair. This is his HQ.
So of
It
course
should
he's
have
gonna
a little more.
Yeah,
He should have more control over it, more
I
visibility,
agree.
more
I
reach.
agree.
Um.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, please.
Sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting you, but
No, not at all.
it kind of goes with what I said earlier. But I really
Mm-hmm.
would redesign some of the enemies, especially like the dudes with the
With the
weird
hammers?
biker armor. Yeah, the hammers.
I have an idea for those, but tell me yours.
Tell me what you think, because I didn't have an idea in mind. I just know I want to change them.
Oh, you want to change them? Okay. I want these guys to be the punished Ganados. I want them to like not want to live, but they can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like maybe they did some sort of transgression against Sadler or against the Los Iluminados, and so they've implanted this armor into their skin. And like,
Ooh,
because they have that part in like the half of their head, that can literally just be a brick of metal
Yeah.
in their skull, but they're kept alive against their will. So I want them to be like moaning and weak.
I have an idea for that
Oh.
because I agree so much. What if you can't see the armor and you don't know which ones are like that until you shoot them and it reveals it?
Oh, yes.
Dude, that'd be so dope.
What
Like
if they
you
have
shoot
like
the skin off,
big-
essentially.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They would almost look like almost like Nemesis, where it's like stapled skin together.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like this a lot.
Me too.
That's
We're
a great
evil.
idea.
We're bad people, but but yeah, I would love that.
But just something so they're not like these retards with hammers.
Dude,
Like,
it's so
with
weird.
Levi jeans. I hate them. I
They're
hate
my
how
least
they
favorite.
look.
They're one of my least favorite enemies. It's like why?
Yeah. But yeah, I have in quotations, they're in perpetual pain.
Like me.
But yeah, I like that idea. That would make them so much more interesting and cool.
It just made me think
Because
of
I
like,
do want
our
there
mothers
to
with,
be
like,
some sort of like law of Sadler that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can visibly see in the world.
And I'd love if we could like read about it. Again, just like more reading. Like I want more reading in my game. I want like
You hear
more
that, guys?
backstory.
We love to read.
We love to read. Please let me read more often.
Let's see. One thing before I change a boss fight. 2 boss fights.
I'm curious.
You should be. But this one's just really quick. The radio tower, you remember what I'm talking about?
I
The
think
one
so.
that has nothing to do with anything.
It's
You
so
go up, you
weird.
can have like a really quick cutscene where you try to like get in contact with somebody. I want that to go even further. I want you to be able to like get up to the tower, but then there's like a little catwalk that leads to another building, and it's another lab. But this lab is for Verdugos. And I want there to be a third Verdugo that's mixed with maybe a regenerator. Like they're doing crazy things to these guys.
It's the worst thing ever. Like terrifying.
But it's not as quick. It's stomping. It's very Frankenstein-ish, you know, because he's mixed with that regenerator. But I would like them to like, you can see where the Verdugos are created, almost,
I think that'd be cool. I like that
because they're
you know, I'm
basically
curious.
modified Novastadors, right?
I think so.
That's why they're like bugs.
They're definitely
you said.
buggy.
But I would like a purpose for the stupid watchtower.
I know, it's like really bizarre. It's out of nowhere. I don't think I even went there in my second playthrough.
The
Like, I
only
think it just
good thing
didn't
there
go.
is a merchant. That's it. But there's one like in the next door if you didn't go that way. I will remember this till this day. That is the first time I ever bought the striker, was at that merchant.
Oh, no way. That's great.
Yeah. That's all I have for the Verdugo. Okay.
Tell me your sacrilege.
First boss I want to change. U3. Or It. He's one of my favorite bosses,
Yeah.
but I want to change his design.
Oh, what do you mean?
And I think you'll really like what I have to say.
I better. Or headquarters is going to hear about this.
I want U3. Because he is basically an amalgamation of creatures,
Yeah.
of bodies. I want his face to be... I want you to see Salazar's face, Mendez's face, and Luis's face, most of all. I want you to be fighting this amalgamation of... Or this amalgam of Big Cheese, Salazar, but like with Luis's face on it. Like something just horrifying.
That is a great idea, and it makes me so sad. But it would also make sense
so
for like why Sadler would use U3 on you, because it would like psychologically, you know,
Yeah,
be
and
horrible. Especially if it was
he'll be
mainly
like,
Luis.
I have a friend to introduce you to, stuff like that. It's like, introduce you to it. It would be
Dude, that is
so heartbreaking.
fantastic.
Thank you.
That is a great
I'm so
idea.
glad you like it. I was really happy with myself when I thought of that.
I think that's great, dude. Oh my gosh,
Like
that would be so
yeah,
hard.
like Luis's hair, like in certain parts that you can see, and just ugh.
Luis,
Maybe it's wearing his little vest.
could you imagine? It's maybe it's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. Maybe it has ballistics.
Oh no, please no.
But yeah, but then I actually have two more things to talk about. Krauser.
Krauser.
I want him to not be using a TMP anymore.
I understand.
I want him to be one-handing a Bowie knife and a sniper rifle in one hand.
That
I
is
want to get even campier, like G.I. Joe.
that is the most Resident Evil thing I've ever heard. He's
And
one-handed
instead
a
of him
sniper.
like shooting, like running up at you, I want him to hide more though. So he's like
Like he jump
sneaking
scares
around
you,
with the
kinda.
sniper. Yeah, and have like these surprise attacks. But that's the only thing I want to really change about it is that he one hands a sniper.
That's awesome. That's hilarious. I'd love it if he shot you like without even looking. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I seriously want him to shoot it like from the hip with like perfect aim.
I was thinking, I love that. But my vision, like when you
Like,
said
hold
that,
it out.
was like very Metal Gear Solid, where
Mhm.
like he's like looking, he's shooting you by looking in the reflection of his Bowie knife and shooting behind him with the sniper rifle. Does that make sense?
Yes. That would be perfect.
It'd be hilarious. I would love that. That'd be so Krauser.
That would be.
It's a good idea, man.
Why don't they make our game?
Dude, they should. We literally designed the perfect game right now.
Honestly. And then one last thing. It's kind of like our merchant boss idea. But maybe having it be U2 or U4.
Ooh.
Just another amalgamation of bosses, including the
Cool.
merchant.
That'd be cool.
You know?
Like as
Like
as you
maybe-
fight the merchant, he goes through stages that make him where he takes
Yeah,
on
like-
attributes of past bosses.
Yeah, like maybe he has like the attributes of the sub bosses almost.
Oh.
Because
I
I
like
mean,
that.
he has an armory, so he could have a Gatling gun in one hand, and then like the claws in another hand.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
It
I'd
sounds like
that.
Doom, but like I think it would be pretty cool.
And this is the thing. It would also be like very optional. You'd have to get
Yes, it
all
would
of the
all-
treasures. You had to finish them all.
Yes.
You'd have to sell them all. So I think that's a good idea.
And that's pretty much my only thought.
Not too big of changes, honestly. Like Island has the
Not
most,
really.
but I think it would be really positive changes that would only really help it.
Yeah, I think
It's
so
like
too.
not a lot of stuff is being taken away. We're mostly adding stuff, and if
Mhm.
the stuff covers stuff up, that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Trying to think if there's anything else, but I mean, honestly, for the gameplay and for the storyline in the story mode, those are all the changes I would like to see.
Me too.
I think we came up with some awesome ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and they will never come to light, but
No.
we talked about it. You guys listened to it. I hope you guys like it. But
We'd love to hear any ideas you guys have too. Like if you guys
Yeah.
have some ideas for this game that we didn't think of,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be awesome. Let's
That would
make
be
our own
awesome.
new game, honestly, at this point. But yeah,
Honestly. But it's time for our segment, which I would like to call The Road to Platinum.
I like it. Oh wait, Chris, I
What?
gotta tell you my stats.
Oh, your stats.
You failure. I'll be quick. Headquarters is
The
gonna
hell
hear
with your
about this.
stats.
So, I'll tell you my stats from the first time, and I want you
Please
to give
do.
me a grade in the style of Resident Evil. You know,
Mm-hmm.
S to whatever's lowest. So my first time, it really wasn't that different, which makes me sad. But I was much better in a couple certain ways. So my hit ratio was 71%. My enemies killed was 833. I died 54 times. And my ultimate time for the first go was 15 hours, 49 minutes, and 39 seconds.
I'll give you a C minus.
That's what I deserved. Very long. Very, very long. Lots of deaths.
You killed a lot of enemies, though, which I'm kind of surprised by.
Yeah, the thing I'm
But,
realizing...
like, I feel like the first playthrough is always very thorough.
And I checked everything and killed everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, although ironically, I got more kills in my second one. Interesting.
That's nice to hear. I like it.
So let me tell you my second run through stats. And I really wanted to get a third so I could, tell you my stats were even better, but that's your fault. So anyway, my second time through, I had a hit ratio of 73%, a little bit better. I killed 901 enemies, which I did not expect. I only died 10 times.
Okay.
And I know the deaths. 3 of them were for the jet ski. Because of course. 3 of them were actually dying.
Okay.
Usually because I missed. Or she just got hit randomly by a Gyarados. 2 were QTEs I wasn't expecting. And 1 was a Dr.
She
Salvador.
got hit by a Gyarados?
Or something. I just remember she got hit. And it was in the castle both times.
Mistake there, Castro. You have to make her wait before you fight the first Gyarados.
Dude, I never made her wait for anything. I was horrible. But
I like those stats.
yeah.
I'll give you
I'm
a
not
B
done,
minus.
Chris. I gotta tell you my clear time.
Oh, please.
7 hours and 22 minutes.
B plus, baby.
That's right. Less than half, okay? I halved my time and killed more enemies. I was
Try to
dope.
beat 546.
That was my goal. I really wanted to do it. And I think I could. I'm pretty sure I
think you
can if I just don't kill enemies. Because you can just run past everyone.
If you just kill what you need to kill, you're fine.
So I want to do it again, and maybe we'll have a third Resident Evil 4 episode where we talk about our like speediest time or something.
This will just be an annual Resident Evil 4.
A quarterly Resident Evil 4 episode.
Quarterly.
Yes, every 3 months.
Okay.
But yeah, those are my stats. But I'd love to move on to our trophies.
The road to platinum. Now, do you want to start with just what you have in order? Because I have like my first one is the platinum.
Let's try to figure out what we share. Because we both share a platinum trophy.
Okay, so I'll let you go first. What did you call your platinum trophy?
I called it Tu has ganado.
Oh yeah?
Which means you have won.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a pun because ganado. But that's what I did. What was yours?
Stranger.
Hello. I like that too.
Because that's what he always says, like when you have something special.
Yeah.
Stranger. Now
I like
that's
that.
a weapon.
No, that's a weapon. I love the merchant. I feel like let's just tell each other our list in full. Like you tell me your full list, and then I'll go through my full list.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Consider it done. Beat the game without saving.
Hello. I like that.
Breaking the ice. Killing the first Ganado before the cutscene.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Bingo's canceled. Defeat all the Ganados before the bell tolls.
Ooh, that's a great trophy. I like that.
Nothing but feathers. Kill all the crows.
Goodbye, crows.
El Perquino. Defeat El Gigante in under a minute.
Ooh, I like that.
A high price. Kill every merchant without dealing with him.
That is a great that's a great name for that. I like that a lot.
Thank you. Right?
High price.
It kind of works with what you were saying too.
And it works for
the risk
for our
reward.
additions. Yeah.
Now that's a weapon. Have all of the super weapons in your inventory at one time.
Ooh.
So, Chicago typewriter, PRL, or whatever it's called. The perfect Spanish getaway. Would be the speedrun trophy for whatever time it is.
Ooh, I like that.
El Verdugo, which is, the executioner or the butcher.
Yeah.
100% kill all the population.
Oh my gosh. I like that. That's cool.
Thank you. I have this either Family Matters or Family Ties. Have one of the Bella sisters kill the other one.
Ooh. That'd be really hard.
Yeah, I feel like if you get them close to each other and you shoot the chainsaw of one of them, it will like swing the other way.
Ooh, I like that.
Service issue. Only use the starting pistol.
Ooh, I love that. That's a great one.
Thank you. Swiss cheese. Defeat Mendez in a minute 15 seconds.
That's a good one too.
Verdugo. Where'd you go? Defeat Vertigo the old-fashioned way by freezing him and blowing him up with a RPG.
I like that.
The Last Castellan. Defeat Salazar in a minute 30 seconds.
Ooh.
You lose. Defeat U3 before escaping the suspended cage.
Oh, that's cool.
Whose Power? Sadler in under a minute 45 seconds.
Ooh.
Also, Getting Soft, Are We? Krauser in a minute 35 seconds.
Can I say this really quickly?
Yeah.
These trophies fit perfectly together because mine are all subtitles. Like when it's Kill Del Lago, it means for the first time. Kill this for the first time. So it'd be perfect. We could have both.
Perfect. That's what I was thinking, because once you said like you had trophy for every boss, I quickly wrote down the speed
45
trophies. You never know. Shoot the dog in the beginning.
That is a really good trophy name. I love that.
Sorry.
You never know.
That one made me laugh when I was writing.
You never know.
Forget your makeup. Bug the policemen so much that they leave.
Nice. I like that.
And that's all the ones I written down. But there could be also the ones for the game modes, which I could come up with names for, but they'd be pretty simple. But,
yeah. Like I didn't have a trophy for Classic or Inferno or anything like that. But we could come up with those pretty easily.
Yeah, but tell me your list first.
So what's pretty wild is I don't think we have any overlap.
That's awesome. I'm so glad.
Except for like the one thing, which I don't remember, but it was the first thing, the platinum, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, let me read them to you. They're all kind of, I tried to make them all kind of funny. They're probably all going to fall flat now that I said that, but I love it. So I have a trophy for speedrun. Beat game in under 5.5 hours. A morbid marathon. Starting off light.
Morbid marathon.
A morbid marathon.
Okay.
Fully upgrade a gun of every class. Like a true Boy Scout. Do you want me to say the trophy name first?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh baby, way more than a triple. Kill 10 enemies with one shot. What's wrong with you? Find and assemble all treasures. Easy mode. Buy the infinite rocket launcher. Ballistics recovered. Meet back up with Ashley.
I love it.
We all wanted to allow Ashley to die. And I imagine that would be like just watching her as she gets taken away and not doing anything.
Yeah.
A little rough, don't you think? Collect all of Luis's notes.
Nice. That's a great one.
Isn't that so sad? But it's like...
It's so sad.
Luis. And bingo was his name-o. Complete the village portion of the game.
Nice.
Castellan to Castigon. Complete the castle portion of the game.
I like that.
This is the worst one. Alona. Complete the island portion of the game.
That is terrible.
I know. Okay, here we go. Has ganado mucho. Make 10 million, or make 1 million points, or whatever point does, or whatever they're called.
Beat this.
But that means, you've made a lot of money. You've gained a lot of money. But again, it's a pun on ganado. Die using the jet ski. Or no, just like old times. Die using the jet ski. Mike! Pay respects to Mike.
I like that.
Not a psychopath. Help the dog escape. Down doggy. Kill a dog as it lunges at you. Should be Dr. Van Gogh be decapitated by Dr. Salvador. Because he cuts off the ear. Anyways. See you later, alligator. Kill Del Lago for the first time. A giant waste of time. Kill El Gigante for the first time. That fight was a breeze. Kill the big cheese for the first time.
Oh, I like it. I see what you did there.
I guess death is blind too. Be killed by a Gyarados. Because love is blind.
Mm-hmm. Love is blind.
No, the other right. Kill Verdugo for the first time.
Oh,
Oh no.
I like that name a lot.
Right? I love a good boss fight. Kill both Gigante for the first time.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
I
there's
totally
lava.
forgot about them, honestly.
Too young to die. Kill Ramon Salazar for the first time. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Kill U3 for the first time. Because there's 3 U's.
3 years.
Proud to be an American. Kill Krauser for the first time.
I had an idea for something like that. Like a true American or
Oh, that's a good one. I
Not
like
really
a true
American.
American, yeah. It's over and sadler than I ever thought possible. Kill Lord Sadler for the first time.
I like it.
Consider yourself ganado. Beat the game on hard mode. Because that's like the other meaning of it. There's like 15 meanings of ganado, so I tried to put them all in there. I mean, yeah. So yeah, those were all my things. And then platinum to us ganado.
Mm-hmm. Which
Those
I like
are those are all my trophies, man.
I love it.
My favorite is the breeze.
Yes.
That fight was a breeze.
Very nice.
How
But
do you like
now
it, man?
we should probably talk about trophies that, because we brought up a few things. We could come up with trophies, or maybe not.
I don't know. I think this honestly might be the perfect
I feel like
ending
it's
point.
a great. Yeah, I think so
we
too.
were gonna talk about the bosses, but I don't know. I feel like what a perfect way to end. You
I
know?
do have a few game modes to talk about though that I would
Oh.
add or keep in.
Dime.
See. So, obviously, Assignment Ada in separate ways are going to stay the same, and so is Mercenaries
Yeah,
for
just
the most part.
better, prettier.
Just better with the new game mechanics that we've talked about. And then I added Classic mode, which I already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley Must Die,
Nice.
where you have to run through the game as Ashley.
Oh,
But like there's no bosses, but you have to run past every enemy.
that's interesting.
can't
I like
fight them.
that.
And then Leon Must Die,
Oh,
which is a boss rush mode.
I was gonna say there should be a boss rush mode.
This game just deserves it. And then I guess that's honestly I think that's it, because everything else is normal, professional, nightmare, and inferno. Oh, some sort of randomizer mode where everything is just completely random every time.
I like that.
I don't know how you would do that, but not the layout of the map, but where you find weapons. Like, let's say you go up into the first house where the shotgun usually is, and you find the TMP, or you find the sniper rifle,
Yeah,
or you
stuff
find
like
the mine
that.
launcher, you know.
If the game hates you that day, yeah.
If the game hates you that day, yeah. Or like maybe you fight Verdugo in the village.
Oh no.
Like something crazy.
I think that'd be kind of fun, like an alternate mode.
Yeah.
Like you
And
are
like
Luis.
once you get to the boss area, it's a random boss. Like you could fight Salazar in the barn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something cool like that.
I love that.
And I think like with the barn, the only thing I would change about it is that it's a little bit bigger to accommodate that stuff.
I agree.
Because it'd be pretty crazy fighting Salazar at his size in the barn that it is right now.
This is true.
But yeah, that's all I had. I think we had a really good discussion today.
Me too, man. I loved
It was a very
this.
fun episode. I hope you guys had fun listening to it.
Yeah. And again, if you guys have ideas, man, like that you want to give to us so that nothing happens, we'd love that. We just love the discussion. We have a good time. So, man, this was great. I loved this.
This was awesome. Man, if only.
If only. But we
But-
thank everyone so much for listening.
Yeah. We love you guys.
We love you guys very much.
Thank you for listening. Please comment your thoughts and feelings. Tell us what you want us to talk about next.
Give us good reviews on whatever platform you're listening on.
Yes.
It helps a lot. Even if you can't help us out on Patreon, it helps a ton with the mysterious algorithm. Yeah, give us, good reviews and whatnot.
But we love you guys, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
I almost just left the call.